I got it. Welcome to Life on the Moose. Welcome back if you've been here before. I'm just loading up some 6x6s for those posts. We're gonna keep working on that lean-to today. Put these posts in those brackets, put a beam across those posts, and just keep forging ahead. So this next 6x6 is 16 feet long. So if you wanna grab one end, I'll grab the other. You wanna, all right, I'll do it. So as I mentioned last episode, my posts are going to be made out of these 6x6s that I milled several years ago. In fact, this 16-footer I think I milled about 7 years ago. It's been sitting here waiting for a use, and this is a great use. My beams are going to be 2x6s laminated together. Okay, I'm loaded up. I'll see you over there. So if you remember in the last video, I had disclosed to you that I had bought the wrong brackets. These brackets that are in the ground are made for 4x4s, and my posts are 6x6s. And the last time I told you I had a plan, I was just going to cut slits into the 6x6s and insert this into the bottom of it. Well, I changed my mind. Here, I'll show you what I'm going to do. Last week I made this template or this pattern. What I'm going to do is basically cut the bottom of that entire 6x6 so that it is only 3.5 inches wide and will fit into that bracket. So I'll carve off an inch off of each side and center that 3.5 piece that I'm going to leave behind. I don't think that's going to substantially impact the strength of this beam. I made a little mock-up. So in essence, that beam will look like this. This is exaggerated for illustration purposes, but in essence this would be my 6x6. This would be a 4x6 in essence. So I don't think my strength is going to be compromised this way, because it isn't going to break off like that. Require way too much force just to break that nubbin off if I'm putting downward pressure on that end right there. So I can hit pretty hard and it's not going to hit that at all. And if I were to apply pressure this way, I think what it would do is split along here, most likely, rather than just sever this little end off. You want to try it? Let's try it. I'll just hang this edge on the block, hit right in the middle. This will duplicate like sideways pressure. Aha, see that? Just as I expected, it split along the length of the board right there. So what I'm going to do to counteract that weakness is I'm going to take a couple of screws and screw into the sides right above this cutoff right here. And that will help it from splitting like that. I'm sure it'll be fine. So this post right now is about 16 feet 3 inches. And I know my finished product is going to be less than 8 feet. So I'm just going to take about 1/2 inch, cut this end off nice and square and flat, and then make that notch, and then I'll worry about cutting this to length. So how long do these have to be? I don't know for sure. Let's go figure it out. I have a plan. So I'm not going to have any hardware or anything like that that's going to attach the post to the beams. The posts are going to be notched so that the beams, which are going to be the 2x6s, are going to sit in that notch and be flush with the outside of the post. So I want that shoulder where those 2x6 beams are going to sit. I want that shoulder to be 7 feet 2 inches off the ground. Well, I know this ground is not level, and I know these post bases are not level. So because I know my shortest post is going to be 7 feet 2 inches to that shoulder, all I really need is the differential between these three posts right now. If these were all level and on the same plane, then of course I could just cut everything at that 7 feet 2 inches. But they're not, so let's see what the difference is. So I have this really old laser level right here, and it is just a standard level basically, plus there's a digital level, and then there is a laser that comes out the end in one direction. And this thing's probably, I don't know, 25, 30 years old. It was handed down to me, so I appreciate that, and I'll take it. It'll be just fine for what we need. You can see we're not quite level yet. When that says 0, we'll be level. We are level. Let's put this laser on. Okay, 10.5. Let's go to the next one. Okay, that is, looks like 10 5/8. Okay, and that one is a lot lower because I read 12 1/4. Actually, 12 3/8. Okay, here's the math. So here are my numbers. The readouts were 10.5, 10 5/8, and 12 3/8. The differential on that one, of course, is only 1/8 of an inch, and the differential on that one is 1 7/8 inches. Is that clear as mud? So let's cut the overall length of this one at 7 feet 7 inches. That's my shortest post and the highest post bracket. This all makes sense. I know it does. All right, 7 feet 7 inches. Then I'll cut the shoulder into it once I get this cut off. When I'm making the notch on top of this post, I have to remember which way the bracket is facing down below. If you remember, I have one of them that is facing a different direction, and that's this first one here. So this notch is actually parallel to the saddle on the bottom side. So this overall length is 7 feet 7 inches. I want my shoulder to sit at 7 feet 2 inches. And you're probably thinking that's only a 5-inch difference and a 2x6 is 5.5. Yes, you're absolutely right. I want that 2x6 beam to sit above this post top just a little bit. I don't want this post top to get in the way. That's why I'm doing that. Okay. So my depth is going to be about a 1/2 inch short, so I'll have to finish that off with the Sawzall. Okay, this next one will be 1/8 of an inch longer. But before we do that, let's cut this bottom out. Let's notch that for that post bracket. And then I'll have to remember to rotate it 90 degrees so that my post bracket matches up with the shoulder on top. Okay, you ready to put those posts up? I'm not quite ready. We gotta do a couple things first. One is I'm gonna sink a couple of 4-inch screws at this base where I narrowed it. And I'm also gonna do the same thing for the same reason up at the notch. If this is gonna ever split, this is gonna pull away, like that small example I showed you earlier. So I'm gonna sink a couple of 4-inch screws in here. It has to help. And then after I get these screws in here, I'm gonna go ahead and brush these off and stain them to match the rest of the barn. Let's go make some beams. I'll show you what I'm not going to do. I am not going to have a flown rafter like I do here. I'm going to run the beam on the lean-to all the way out so that that last rafter rests on that beam itself. Why am I doing it this way? It's something different. It's a little bit easier, a little bit quicker. These things are everywhere. And those bugs will dive bomb you when you walk by. They'll just fly by, hit you in the head for no reason. They don't sting or anything, they're just really annoying. Some people call them stink bugs. Okay, back to making a beam. What we have here is we have a piece of store-bought wood, and then underneath it is something I milled. The stuff that I milled has a tremendous crown on it. It's really too much the way it is. I mean, I don't want my roof line to look like, you know, McDonald's arches or anything. So I'm gonna pair a milled piece with a store-bought piece, clamp them, straighten them out a little bit, and then glue them and screw them. And then I'll put them up on the posts. When it's all said and done, this beam is gonna be 15 feet long, which is the whole length of the structure. So that beam will stick out about 1.5 feet past the post on each end. Get out of here. Man, they're aggressive. The tops of these are nice and flush, but the board that I milled is a little bit irregular. And on the bottom, there are a couple spots where it's sticking out, and I don't want that to rest alone on that shoulder up on that post. So I'm just gonna plane off a little bit, make sure that we're all in the same plane. Oh, that's why they call it a planer. Out in the middle of the span, it's not gonna matter. It's just where it's gonna touch the post. That's all I really care about. Right at about 1.5 feet, and then right on the end. Okay, good to go. These short hanger nails, like joist hanger nails, I'm going to use those to balance this thing up right, just to get it plumb or close to plumb, and then I'm going to hold it in place with these. That way I can fine tune it after my beam is up, and then once it's completely plumb and in position, then I'll put a through bolt through the whole thing. That look plumb to you? Okay, the beam is up, the posts are plumb, the beam is straight and level, so it looks pretty good. I'm putting 5-inch screws up on the top into the posts. I still need to put one more in each post, and then I need to, of course, bolt my bottoms down. But the shadows are getting long and I am running out of gas. So I'm gonna finish this stuff up tomorrow morning. Don't go anywhere. You could probably hold your breath and I'll be back tomorrow morning before you even exhale. Just don't pass out on me. So I have about 6 more screws that I want to put into that beam, into the post. And after that, we have 3 more quick things to do, and this phase will be over with. I hope to be out of here by noon because guess what? I have to go pick up my building permit. It's been approved. Woohoo! Yes! You should have seen me. I jumped so high. Okay, enough of this screwing around. Let's get this part over with. Okay, we're plumb again. I pushed it a little bit out of whack while I was putting those big screws in, but we're good now. So let's drill some holes. 1/2-inch bit. It's not a very big space I have to drill through, but I'm gonna go about halfway, a little bit more from one side. I'm not gonna try to go all the way through, especially since I have to go through the bracket itself, which I gotta be really careful because I can screw up a bit really quickly if I hit that bracket. Okay, the last couple things we're gonna do, actually it's only one thing with a couple steps. We're gonna put some bracing up here. We're gonna put 4 pieces of bracing, 22 inches long on the long side, just 45 it, and put it in the inside corners. That will provide a lot of stability, a lot of support. I think it's a good idea all the way around. I'm gonna sandwich 2 2x6s, just like the beam up there. And fortunately, all these 2x6s are just leftover material. Isn't gonna cost me a penny. So let's cut these up, stain them, and put them up there. wanted to say you're welcome. I know how much you like watching me stain. So I went ahead and stained that beam without even showing you. Just like that, it's finished up. So let's put those braces up, and that's it. The thing with putting these up is you have to measure them very carefully to make sure they're in the right spot. Okay, I'm kidding. You don't have to measure them at all. That's the beauty of it. As long as your posts are plumb and your beam is level and your cuts, your miters are at 45 degrees, there's only one possible way for them to fit. And that's a good thing. Anytime I can reduce the chance of screwing up, I'll take it. Well, that's it. The beam is on the posts. Check it out. Thank you for watching Life on the Moose. I appreciate it, as always. Come back next week. I think we're going to be working on this yet. I have a message into the dirt guy who's going to be digging out the foundation for this house, and he's going to get back with me tonight to let me know what his schedule is like. But I have a feeling it's going to take a couple of days, so I can probably keep working on this, but you never know. And there's only one way for you to know for sure what I'm going to do next week. Well, one way or another, I'll just plan on seeing you here next week then, right? Okay, good. In the meantime, take care of yourself. I got to run to town, pick up a permit.